I've been boiling down Thanksgiving turkey carcass now for about 5 days. And I had put the entire carcass, all the leavings from the pan, the vegetables, etc., all in this pot. And I've kept it at 200 degrees. And today, since I switched it out of the pot, I brought it back to a boil. And now I'm going to turn it down again just to keep it at about 200 degrees. So 5 days at 200 degrees gives you pretty much this. These are my turkey carcass bones, and you can see what happens to them. They just break in your hand, and this is how you get good bone marrow. And bone marrow is fabulous for the body. Okay, here's a bone. I'm going to rake it up against the side of the pan. There you go. That's that. So this is the big leg bone, and you know how tough they are. So bone marrow is really good for you. And what I'm doing now is I've got a blender here, and in that blender I'm putting a little bit of the broth that I have here, using my measuring cup, throwing it in the blender, and then I'll put a remnants of my turkey carcass in here, and I'll put the lid on it. And while that's blending, this bowl right here, I have the blended paste. And no, I didn't clean my kitchen up all nice and tidy so I could show you this. I was just doing it and thought I would show you. I've gone from a whole turkey carcass, bones, broth, juices, vegetables. I've gone to keeping it on a low simmer at 200 degrees for 5 days. In doing that, it has given me a nice tender bone. And you'll see here, there you go, that's just breaking that bone right in half. And now I'm taking a little bit of the bone broth, or the broth, so that it will blend for me. And I'm putting it in the blender, and then I'm putting a couple of spoonsful of this in here, and I'm making a paste. This paste can be used for anything from dog food to seasoning, a thickener inside soups, and when I get finished with this turkey, there will be nothing wasted. So there you have it, guys. Inside the freezer, I have probably 4 quarts of bone broth that I will bring back up to temperature, and then I will can it so that I have some meat stock. So there you go. There will be no waste out of this bird. Now here it is as I'm pouring it in from the blender to the bowl. This is what I'm getting. There you go. That is turkey bones from a carcass left over from Thanksgiving. Now, I may make this into a dried leather. I would season it and put it into a cookie sheet, dry it in the oven, and just season it very nice. And then I would have some dried dog treats or people treats. So here is my pureed bone paste. And I've just, actually I put it in the refrigerator for a couple of days. I made 1 batch for the dogs. Then I put the rest of it in the refrigerator until I had time to work it. And when I have time to work things, it's normally 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm about to put this pureed bone paste in the oven on the lowest setting that I have, and just let it kind of dry overnight. And right now I'm going to see who wants to lick the spoon. So who wants to lick the spoon? Oh, George. George thinks he wants to lick the spoon. And then maybe Sadie wants to lick the spoon. Sadie says she'll just take the whole spoon. Yeah. So this is it's a very good treat. It's bones. I turn it into biscuits for them, or little cookies. It's a really good training tool. If you show them this before you put them outside and tell them to go do their business, and don't give it to them until they come back in, they'll be real quick about coming back in. So I'm going to put it in the oven on the lowest setting, and I'll check it in the morning. Here's what's left of the first batch of cookies that I made for them. I just cut it into squares. They've been dried. It's bone paste. that has been dried. And let me see who might sit for it. George, can you sit? Sadie, sit. Sadie can't hardly sit. Her back is all broken down. She's an old dog. George is sitting now. I just have to get him not to take my hand off. If I give it to him that way, he's pretty gentle with it. And then, let's see. Bubbles gets a small piece. Bubbles. Bubbles. And Sadie's moved herself around in line for more. They really like these, and they're good treats for them. It's just pureed bone. Oops. Sadie normally takes food very gentle. But with these, she gets all excited. George, you're going to be gentle? Be gentle. Almost. So that's the dog's opinion on the pureed bone biscuits. They'll do just about anything for me. I should have another 2 batches out by in the morning. Okay, so it's the next morning, and these are the 2 batches of dehydrated bone paste. I could have cut them, but I actually went to bed last night while they were still in the oven. And the dogs don't care if they're in perfect cookie shapes or not. They just love them. They're soft, dry. I can put these inside a baggie now. And they make perfect treats for my dogs. Let's see if we can get that. There they go. That's a little better. Just dehydrated, ground up bone paste. It's perfect. I guess I'll have to show you another day what I'm doing with the bone broth, but it's out in the freezer. And I'll be separating the fat off of it and then canning it. But we'll do that in another show.